Hey guys, I'm Hann, and today we have a very special car that's just arrived here at Gold Car Import, and that is this car right here. It's the latest and newest Porsche 992 GT3, and I can't wait to show you guys everything about this car. I can't believe I'm even saying it through my mouth. Yup, without further ado, let's go. So this right here is the latest and newest Porsche 992 GT3, which we imported it back all the way from UK, and believe it or not, this car is actually sold and will soon be delivered to one of our customers, so I have to be very delicate with this car. Now just a quick recap if you don't know what this car is, right? This is basically a more track focused, more powerful, more downforce and more expensive version of the normal 992. It was launched 2 years ago back in 2021, and this car is effectively one of the best new Porsches you could get out there, with the exception of the new 992 GT3 RS that is even more hardcore and obviously even more expensive, which was recently launched in Malaysia with a hefty price tag of 2.6 million ringgit. That's crazy, right? Okay, so this car is basically the successor to the previous generation GT3, which was based on the 991.2 version, whereas this right here is totally new because it's based on the new 992 platform, which I get into on what are the differences. So if you firstly can see, right, the whole car is fully blacked out. It's literally black on black on black. It's definitely a Batman spec right there. Alright, so from the front you can see, right, this car, the GT3, has these two nose drills. Basically what happens is air actually goes inside the car over the nose drills and go over the car towards the rear wing to maximize downforce. And if you notice, right, the bottom bumper is totally different as well. If the traditional 992, what happens if you have three radiator grills, you have one here, one in the middle and one on the side. But for the GT3, what they did is basically they just have one large radiator mouth in the middle to maximize the air going inside, and then you have air curtain to go towards the side as well, which is really cool. And then this car also saves weight as well in terms of, let's say, by having the carbon fiber reinforced plastic hood that saves around 2.5 kg. Then you got the PLMS headlight as well with this blue color ring, so finished in shark blue, which is the launch color. I like how they actually have this blue to just break it up apart because everything is so dark. This is nice to have a little bit of blue around the car. It's optional extra. Alright, so if you head towards the side, right, you check out the wheels as well, right? So these wheels are staggered setup. So it's firstly introduced on the 992. So this first on the GT3 having a staggered setup. So previously the 991.2 one, that one you have 20 on the front, back also 20, but this one you have 20 on the front and 21 on the rear. So it's much wider, you have a wider track as well. But the funny thing is, despite this car having larger wheels and wider track, right, it actually weighs almost the same thanks to the wheels. So this one is a lightweight wheels finished in this matte black, which is very nice. It reminds me of BBS wheels. And then you also have these center lock caps, and then now you have carbon ceramic brakes as well. Now one thing, right, very interesting about this, right, every time when you see a Porsche, normally if it's red brake calipers means it's steel brakes. If it's yellow means it's carbon ceramics. But for the first time ever, after I don't know how many years, right, in the history of Porsche, they finally allowed Porsche customers to actually spec their brake calipers black if you're having a carbon ceramic brakes, which is really cool. I think it's nice. It ties in with this car perfectly, black on black on black, like I said. Alright, so head towards the side as well. Now one thing I noticed, right, you see this one? So this one is also introduced on the 992 as well. It's basically flushed door handle, so this one basically smoothens out the airflow and go around the car. Alright, when you unlock the car, what happens is this one actually pops up, so you can open up, yeah, just like that. And then take a look at the rear track. It's so wide, you can see the haunches at the back. Alright, and then you check out the back. Now this is my favorite part. Just take a look at how massive the rear wing is. Okay, so this rear wing, right, you notice it has a new design. You can see basically you have this swan neck style that mounts on top instead from the bottom. There's a specific reason for it. One of the reasons is because when your swan neck, right, mounts on the top, right, what happens is it increases the surface area under the wing, which basically creates more downforce. Now this wing alone, right, creates 2 times more downforce than the previous GT3. That's super duper cool. Okay, then I noticed this car also has the optional clear tail lights that runs across the strip. So this one obviously, just like the 992 version, you have a single strip tail light that runs across towards the end. I feel this is very nice. Instead of having red, you have these clear lights. Yeah, really cool. And then you got this GT3 lettering, which is optional as well. You can remove it as well. And then you got this Porsche 3D, 3-dimensional lettering sticking out right there. Yeah, the details on this car is absolutely amazing. And then you take a look at the bottom as well. You have exhaust. Now this exhaust is also lighter because this one is around 10 kg lighter than a standard exhaust, and it sounds heavenly as well. So at the bottom here, you got this active diffuser. So first ever introduced on the GT3 as well, on this GT3, that has produced 3 times more downforce than the previous GT3. Can you imagine that? 3 times. Yeah, so this car, right, is powered by 4-litre naturally aspirated flat 6 that produces around 500 horsepower and 470 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 is around 3.6 seconds. But what's fascinating, right, is this car, if you notice, the horsepower is almost the same as the previous GT3. But this car, even though despite having the same horsepower, right, this car is actually 17 seconds faster in the Nürburgring. Can you imagine that? Same horsepower, but much faster. And you may wonder why. The reason for it is obviously thanks to the lightweight components. So this car is only 5 kg heavier than the previous GT3, even though having new technologies, right? New wing, it's larger wing as well. And also obviously thanks to the downforce, it produces much more downforce. Yeah, so this car, right, overall, it actually is 50% more downforce than the previous car, and 150% if let's say you're on the full track setting, right, than the previous GT3, which is absolutely crazy to think of, okay? So yeah, that's very cool. So that's all about the exterior. Now let's check out the interior. Okay, now to check out the interior, right, firstly you have to unlock the door. So basically I got the keys with me, so now it's currently flush. Like I said, once I press unlock, it actually pops open for you to open it up. Okay, let me just put the keys in my pocket and just pop open. Get ready to feast your eyes at the interior. You can see the exterior is so subtle, right? But just check out the interior. It's absolutely well spec'd. So basically you got this houndstooth seat, you got harnesses, you got this carbon fiber sport bucket seat. You can see it's finished in carbon fiber, it's lightweight. Then you got a lot of nice shark blue touches around. Like for example, the seat belt is finished in shark blue. You got a shark blue stitching around the seats, you got a GT3 embroidery right there. Even the side here, you can see the door cards, you got nice blue, hint of blue around the car, which is nice. Also got some carbon fiber right there. Yeah, this is really cool. Even at the bottom here, you can see, if you don't know what car yours is, this one reminds you, you're in the GT3 with a carbon fiber plaque around it. Yeah, really, really cool. Okay, now let's take a seat inside because there are a lot of things to see from the inside. Now, once you're in, right, the first thing you notice immediately will be this. Just take a look at the pedal shifters. It's in different color. That's what I like about expensive cars, right? You get to spec however you want it. You want to personalize it to however you want it, so that it's just you who have it. So you got blue on the left side, you got yellow on the other side. It's really, really cool. It's really striking as well. Obviously, you still have the signature tachometer. So you got the 5 balls around. So the middle one is analog, which is nice. And then the left on right, it's digital. Okay, let me just start the car for the moment. Get to listen just once to turn on the ignition. Ready to listen? Let's fire it up. Ooh, listen to that. Yeah, that sounds heavenly. The 4-litre naturally aspirated flat 6. Okay, so basically this one car also comes equipped with the Sport Chrono. If I'm not mistaken, you can see it's right there. You got a clock. Yeah, it's very nice. The material on this car is absolutely fantastic. It's all leather. Yeah, I like how the blue just runs across around. Okay, so this car also is kind of practical because this is not the RS, the GT3. Basically, you can still daily drive it. So for example, you press this, yeah, you got cup holders where you put your drinks, because now these supercars you don't have cup holders, this one you have. And then the bottom part here is all finished in nice Alcantara, top here carbon fiber, and top here leather, a mixture, combination of 3, yeah, which is really lovely. Then all here, so you can see it's Alcantara, mixture with carbon fiber and leather as well. Yeah, it's really, really well built. The materials they have right here, I really love this houndstooth. It's a very bold move, but it fits this car very, very well. Then even at the back, check out, you got a Club Sport package, which includes this roll cage at the back. Yeah, solid roll cage. Alright, so for this, right, this car, you can choose whether you want a 7-speed PDK automatic or a manual gearbox. Now obviously the purists will definitely go for the manual because it's more engaging. But if you're after track speed, right, lap records, right, the PDK is definitely much better. So this one, the difference between this and the previous generation GT3, right, is the previous generation actually has 8-speed PDK, but this one right here is 7-speed. The reason for it is because to save weight, like this car has everything to save weight. Yeah, so 7-speed, you actually remove 1 gear and it saves more weight as well, which is nice. Have you noticed, right, this one is also shaped like a manual gear selector. And what I love this one so much, right, is because a lot of people don't really like the traditional 992 gear shifter. It's so tiny, okay, and you can't even use it to, you can't even push left or right to go to manual, because this one you can see, you press this, you push this in, okay, you go down, you push to the left, then you can just use it as manual. You can shift up and down if you want, yeah, which is nice. Yeah, I love to have this solid, robust gear shifter instead of the tiny one. Yeah, it's nice to introduce this, and it looks like a manual as well. If you don't know, you won't know. Okay, so from here you can see, here you got the axle lifter as well. So this one basically lifts the car up by an inch. And what's really cool about this, right, is this one actually has GPS. So basically, let's say you go home, right, you have your driveway, right, it's very steep, and then you have to use this once. You can actually configure it to whenever you go back to the driveway, it automatically lifts the car up, which is really, really cool. Okay, so you don't have to do it by yourself. That's very clever. Then this one as well, if you press this, it changes the damper setting, so you can drive it comfortably. You don't have to be so hardcore, don't have to be very stiff, the driving dynamics. Okay, so this one is basically allows you to drive in a more softer and more normal daily driving environment. Okay, so turn this off, you got ESC control off. You can even turn off the traction control if you would prefer, but obviously I won't do it. Okay, so you got this nice screen as well. It's very clear. Now this is basically touch screen, but if you don't want to use touch screen, right, you can just use this as well. I like how they actually have both, because nowadays cars, right, once you got touch screen, you don't have this, but this they have it, so you can control from here as well. You can toggle around. Okay, but interesting things will be, let's say I go to car, right, so it can shows you your chassis, you want sport or track. You got normal, sport, track as well. So yeah, you can configure things, the exhaust system, whether you want to open a valve or close, you want to turn on start stop or not. Yeah, it's totally up to you. Then got a very nice picture of the car right there. Yeah, this car is very minimalistic as well. You got the GT3 lettering right there. Then you got this, you got a cup holder. Now you can even replace this as well. If you push this, it opens this up. Okay, you can put it with another storage cubby as well if you want to, but obviously you're going to put this back here. Yeah, then this is the parking brakes, and then this right here is finished Alcantara, and you can see the Stuttgart crescent right here, which is very nice, right, embedded inside. Yeah, beautiful. So for the steering wheel, you have this very nice Alcantara steering wheel, which is just nice for your hand. You got a travel cloth pinstripe. Obviously this one, it wasn't with an optional color pinstripe, travel cloth pinstripe. And if you take a look at bottom here, so this one is the driving modes. So basically you can configure between 3 different modes. So if I have to turn this toggle, right, you can see currently we're in normal. If you put this, it goes to sport, right? Basically the exhaust valve open, the suspension becomes more stiff. Then you go to track, so this one is everything changes as well. Alright, and then you notice this one, right, this button right here. Now on the ordinary 992, right, this one is basically gives you temporary boost. You press this, it gives you temporary power. But for this, what it does is basically allows you to select, let's say on sport, right, you want to press on this on sport. If you press OK, you can see basically you can configure when you're on sport mode what happens. Okay, yeah, it's highly configurable. If you go back, go to track, so once you turn on track mode, right, so these are the things you can configure as well. Yeah, which is really cool. And I just love how the screen, right, is so clean, it's so self-explanatory. At the same time, right, it's classic Porsche style. You have these 5 circular dials as well. Okay, so from here, right, you can configure the stuff. So let's say you go around here, right, you can see vehicle, track, and go around with this car, press back. Yeah, so you can see different things. Okay, sport chrono. Yeah, you have the GPS as well. And then you go to check the other side, you just press this button to go to the left side. Yeah, so you can see there are a lot of things you can see. Yeah, which is really nice, and it's really clear as well. I'm not sure if camera can do it justice, but it's really, really clear. And it's nice is because it's on your eye level. Yeah, what a nice car. Absolutely amazing. Okay, just before I summarize the video, there's one thing I want to show you guys which is really cool. So if I were to open the door, right, okay, so if you see the front here, right, this one basically opens up the boot on the front, and this one opens up the boot on the rear. Okay, but if you press this button, right, once I pop it open, let me just close the door. Take a look at this. You can't actually really see the engine at the back, but what it does is basically it only pops this open for you. So you pop this up, so this is where you can put your coolant, your fluids, and that's about it. Okay, now you may be wondering, why is that so? The reason for it, right, is because this car, the engine is actually placed very low and down under the car. So even though by having let's say a display, right? You open it up, you can't really see much. So Porsche thinks that is unnecessary, so they remove it, which I feel it's quite a smart move as well, because no point of seeing the engine when you can't really see it anyways, because the engine is placed so low for weight distribution and lower center of gravity and everything. Okay, and as well, one thing I forgot to mention, right? Okay, you guys will kill me if I don't, is basically this car has a new front suspension as well. So instead of using the basic McPherson strut on the front, right, this car adopted the double wishbone suspension, which first ever fitted on a Porsche GT3, yeah, which is really cool. That is why this car is so quick on the lap. Okay, the mixture of lightweight, aerodynamics, and also the suspension, all this makes this car good. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Now, if you guys were expecting me to drive this car, right, even though if I could, right, I won't, because this car is sold and I have to respect the owner, okay, because I don't want to make a mess out of it. This car is so expensive, so valuable, alright, so this car just reached here at Gold Car Import and is sold already, okay, so if you guys are interested in any cars, if you want us to import from the UK, right, if you want to buy anything from the UK, be it supercars or let's say luxury SUVs or even another Porsche 992 GT3, yeah, just feel free to contact me. I'll leave the link down below and then we'll definitely sort it out for you and make sure to bring your dream car back to Malaysia. Okay, so yeah, with that said, if you guys enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe and share with your friends, and I shall catch you guys next time. Ciao!